Psalm 31 says, God has great blessings stored up for those that honor him. Promotion is stored up for you. Sometimes we act like God has a limited supply of favor. If my co-worker gets promoted, that may keep God from promoting me. It's the wrong perspective. God never runs out of favor. He has unlimited resources. Somebody else being blessed is not going to stop God from blessing you. When you celebrate others, you're passing the test. When you're happy for their success, God can release what he has stored up for you. Maybe you're single and you've been believing for a long time to meet the right person. Your best friend just met the man of her dreams. He's tall, dark, handsome, romantic. They're madly in love, planning their wedding. She asked you to be the maid of honor. You say, yes, I'd be thrilled to do it. Deep down, you're thinking, I'm so depressed. God, why didn't I meet him first? I'm more attractive than she is. No, be happy for her. She's not taking your blessing. What has your name on it cannot go to anyone else. Your time is coming. There is a husband stored up for you that will be a perfect fit, better than you could imagine. They're heading your way. It could happen today. It could happen this week. You could see a stored up blessing released in your life. This takes all the pressure off. You don't have to live frustrated, wondering if a dream is going to come to pass, worried that a problem won't work out, jealous because a friend got a promotion. You can stay in peace, knowing that what has your name on it is not going to go to any other person, that God's going to get to you to where you're supposed to be. Sometimes it's taking a long time. People are passing us up. We've missed opportunities, made some mistakes. Those voices start whispering, it's never going to happen. You're never going to get well, never break the addiction, never meet the right person. It's easy to get discouraged, give up on what we're believing for. This is the way Peter felt in the scripture. He was out in his boat with some of the other disciples fishing. His good friend Jesus had just been crucified. When Jesus needed him the most, Peter denied that he knew him. And Peter not only felt guilty about it, but he was confused. This man he believed to be the Messiah was no longer with them. He said he would rise from the dead, but they didn't see any sign of it. So Peter went back to his previous profession. He was an experienced fisherman. He'd done it for many years. He'd been out in his boat all night, fishing, and caught nothing. He worked hard, used his best efforts, put on the right bait, threw the nets where he thought the fish would be, again and again, hour after hour. No success. Early the next morning, this man shouted from the shore, "Boys, have you caught any fish?" They didn't recognize it was Jesus. Peter said, "No, we haven't caught anything." Jesus said, "Then throw your nets on the right side of the boat and watch what will happen." I'm sure they thought, who does this guy think he is, telling us how to fish? We're professionals. We're tired, we're hot, we're aggravated, we're frustrated. There's no fish out here. They almost talked themselves out of it, but at the last moment, Peter changed his mind. He thought, what do we have to lose? What's it going to hurt for us to throw out our nets one more time? They threw the nets on the right side of the boat, and they caught so many fish that they could not haul it in. Right then, they recognized that it was Jesus. Here's my point. God knows where your fish are. Just because you haven't seen them yet doesn't mean that you've missed them. Like Peter, you may have worked hard, given it your best effort, used your expertise, your skills, exhausted your resources, your connections, but you came up empty. Now you don't think it's ever going to happen. I'll never get well. I'll never meet the right person. I'll never accomplish this dream. I've tried everything. I've worked 2 jobs. I've gone through rehab. I put my profile on 47 dating websites. Only 2 people were interested, and they were both over 80. You're tired. You're frustrated. You could easily give up. Here's the good news. God knows where your fish are. He knows where your husband is. He knows where your healing is, where your victory is, where that new house is. It may not have happened yet, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You always face the greatest opposition, the greatest adversity, the greatest discouragement right before the breakthrough, right before the healing, right before you meet the person of your dreams. God is saying to you, throw out your nets one more time. That disappointment, the loss, the lack was only a test. Your fish are still out there. What has your name on it? If you'll throw out your nets again, God will cause those stored up blessings to find you. The fish may not have been there last night. It may not have worked last time. That's okay. God controls the fish. He knows how to get them into your net. Start believing again. Get your fire back. Stir your faith up. What God started in your life, He's going to finish. What He promised you, He will bring to pass. You may have been struggling, trying to find the fish, working hard, giving it your best efforts. No success. This is a new day. The fish are going to find you. The scripture talks about how when you honor God, His blessings will chase you down and overtake you. When you believe that your best days are still in front of you, you believe that God will take you where you could not go on your own. You will come to a point where the fish will start tracking you down. God will command His blessings to overtake you. When you think you were done, no more opportunity, God brought you an opportunity of a lifetime. You didn't have to go after it. That fish found you. Friends, there are some fish, big fish, that have your name on them. It's just a matter of time before they show up in your net. You need to get ready. I'm not talking about minnows, little goldfish, something you can fit in a small aquarium. I'm talking about some big fish, some big breaks, some big opportunities. Peter caught so many fish that he could not hold them all in. Notice, God is an overflow God. What He has stored up for you is going to be bigger than you can imagine. Now, nothing may have been biting lately. You're throwing out your nets, using the right bait, but you keep coming up empty. Every voice will tell you, it's never going to happen. You're wasting your time. Forget about it. No, don't believe those lies. The fish are coming. The promotion is coming. The spouse, the healing, it's headed your way. It may seem unlikely. You tried it before, gave it your best. It didn't work out. That delay doesn't mean that you missed your fish. That disappointment doesn't mean it's not going to happen. At the right time, God's going to bring the fish into your net. Now do your part. Keep throwing out your nets. Keep believing. It's not going to happen by your might, your power, your talent, your strength. It's going to happen by the hand of God. You may have come to the end of your ability. You've done everything you can. Don't worry, you're not alone. You have the most powerful force in the universe on your side. The God who controls the fish, the God who spoke worlds into existence, He knows how to get the fish into your net. Every morning, Lord, I want to thank you that you're causing the right fish to find me. Thank you that those stored up blessings are going to be released in my life. If you'll stay in faith and keep throwing out your nets like Peter, God will do more than you can ask or think. When you make mistakes, God doesn't get rid of your fish. He doesn't take them away. He holds your fish. They become a stored up blessing. When you get back on the right path, God will release what should have been yours. You may think, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm sure God has some good things stored up for me, but it's too late now. No, you're just like Peter. God is holding your fish. They belong to you. Why don't you start believing again? God knew every mistake you'd ever make. He knew the times we'd blow it, the times we would fail. If that disqualified us, all of us would come up empty. None of us would catch anything. When you make mistakes, the accuser will whisper in your ear, "No use you throwing out your nets. God's not going to bring you any fish. You're not going to catch anything." God is saying, "I dare you to believe. I dare you to throw your nets on the right side of the boat." That means start making good decisions. Start honoring God, living with excellence and integrity. When you do this, mistakes of the past won't keep you from your future. Your fish are still out there. Your dreams, your spouse, your healing, that breakthrough, it has your name on it. Throw your nets on the right side of the boat, and God is still going to bless you, still going to heal you. You're still going to accomplish your dreams and become who you were created to be. You may have blown it, made mistakes, your nets are empty. You don't think the promise will ever come to pass. God is still holding your fish. He didn't get rid of them. They belong to you. If you'll start throwing your nets on the right side of the boat, you'll still see God's favor. He'll still do what He promised you. Here's the point. Even though you may have started late, you made mistakes, missed some opportunities, God doesn't say, "I'm cutting your pay. I'm only going to give you half of what should have been yours." If you'll get back on the field, start making decisions that honor God, all those past wages, what God has stored up, the blessings, the favor, the increase, He still wants to release in your life. You can still reach the fullness of your destiny.